Sorry I'm late, I just don't give a fuck.
This year, I'm aiming lower than ever before. My first target is this cum guzzler. Shout out to the homie that asked for this one, by the way. I'm several months late and I'm really not sorry, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. He did ask me to slander him for about 15 minutes straight, and while I'm not sure I can keep up my hate boner for that long, all things are possible through God and marijuana. Man, it's a damn good thing I don't talk to my mother anymore, because she would probably be very disappointed with me. However, she did kind of kick me out as a kid, so I feel like she wouldn't really care, but at least I knew my mom, which is more than I can say for Lorgar. Although, it is now at least canon that the Primarchs had a mom. Before I read the last few Horus Heresy novels, I kind of thought the Emperor just shot his load into a cup, mixed it with sugar, spice, and everything not so nice. Then boom, out come the greatest unhealthcare providers the galaxy had ever seen. So anyways, back to the video. Where we gotta give a huge shout out to Not God for having goals that don't involve utter annihilation and submission. Oh, well, stop that, sorry. Oh, how rude of me. Like everyone else in his life, I forgot we were supposed to be paying attention to Lorgar. And while this may surprise you, because I for one was flabbergasted when I found this out, but apparently Lorgar is capable of more than crying. And yes, he is crying, and sometimes it feels like the authors are going way out of their way to show you that this man is fucking crying. Brothers are mean to him because he wastes time spreading the good word instead of hot lead, runs to his room and cries. Dad scolds him for being... Is it past a minute? Ah, fuck it. Dad scolds him for being a fuck, runs to his room and cries. Now, he does make a pact with some shadow people on this particular occasion, but that only serves as more evidence for him being an extreme fuck. I'd actually want to make the argument that this pushes him into cunt territory, but y'all let me know what you think. We got plenty of time though, and I like to save that word for special occasions, so don't cast your vote just yet. He's gonna stay a fuck for now, and we'll just see how the story develops. Foreshadowing. Now, I understand that most of these interactions are there to humanize him and make us kind of sympathize with his fall to chaos, but honestly it just makes me think he's kind of a bitch. Lorgar also has the privilege of meeting the real villain of 40k and the real Primarch of the chapter, and I ain't saying his name like he's fucking Voldemort, but we all know who I'm talking about. Anyways, Lorgar somehow manages to become the leader of his world. However, they're a cult, so fuck those guys. Don't join cults. Cults are bad kids. Or guys. Or ladies. Like, seriously, guys, stop joining these alpha male cults. It's pathetic. If you want to feel like a man, just reach down, grab your nuts. There. Saved you 10 grand. You're welcome. I'm not sure if that same advice applies for women that are in need of feeling womanly. Or would the proper term be feminine? Fuck if I know. However, I also don't see women throwing money at successful women thinking that'll make them successful, so score one for the ladies, I suppose. Man, I'm really trying to find any excuse not to continue talking about Lorgar. However, I guess this is the Lorgar video, so back to Lorgar, who loves cosplaying as a Jehovah's Witness as he goes around conquering planets in the slowest possible fashion, because 9 out of 10 times he is personally going door to door asking if you've heard about his Lord and Savior. If no, he gives you a simple choice. Would you like to learn? If the answer is yes, congratulations, this was indeed a test and you passed. You get to live. If you answer no, at best, execution on the spot. At worst, they go all Spanish Inquisition on you for a little while, then ask if you'd like to be converted. And much like the Spanish Inquisition, there's still a 50-50 chance that they'll just end you for the love of the game. Now everyone points to that time that the Imps blew up a city and forced Lorgar and his whole legion to kneel before him as a point to be like, oh, look at poor Lorgar, wouldn't you have turned in the same No. Wanna know why? I wouldn't be in those circumstances. For one, odds are I'd be a guardsman at best, servitor at worst, but more importantly, I would have listened to the people telling me to stop because Lorgar had plenty of people telling him to stop. Gully Dick, that brother that he gets an eternal hate boner for, yeah, he tried to reach out to Lorgar and was like, yo, my guy, maybe you should take it easy for a bit. Lorgar ignored him. Horus reaches out to him. Yo, Lorgar, how's it going, Tiger? Look, I know you're all about your church, and look, buddy, I support you, I hear you, I see you. You are a valued member of this family. But if you keep doing this, Dad might lose his mind. Lorgar ignores him. Malcador the motherfucking Sigillite comes up to him, and full stop for a second, Malcador is not God's right-hand motherfucking man. So if he even just sends you a text, then you already know that you have a problem. Then if my guy, the honorable big homie Malcador, shows up to your house, guess what, my man? You have a really big fucking problem. And your entire existence should now be focused on solving that problem. So Malcador walks up to Lorgar and doesn't give him a big speech or anything, because honestly his mere presence should be speaking volumes for him. But again, he's here because he cares about Lorgar. So he's like, Lorgar, seriously, last chance. You have to stop or your dad is going to take drastic action. Now listen, Lorgar knows who his father is, and more importantly, he knows what his father's temperament is. Lorgar also knows that drastic action usually comes with a death toll starting in the tens of millions on a bad day. And what does this superhuman fuck up decide to do? Nah, he wouldn't do that to me. I'm his golden boy. And those were Lorgar's famous last words. Because after ignoring the warnings, yet again, Not God decides to go very Old Testament on Lorgar's perfect city. Because you see, while Lorgar had a reputation for really taking his time, this planet in particular was special to him. Why is that, you ask? Because it was the one he had spent years making into his perfect holy site. My man actually named it the perfect city, so that should tell you how he felt about it. He had dedicated more time, energy, and love to this one particular planet than any planet he had brought into compliance, painstakingly drawing out all of the details and even lending some Astartes to aid in the construction. This man loved this city, and the Emperor knew this. So Not God sent the Ultra Smurfs down to Monarchia, which that's the perfect city by the way, who, to the Ultramarines' credit, they didn't see this as a pass to just go weapons free on everything and anything, which in this setting is the highest level of restraint an Astartes can show. They first ordered the civilians to leave the city. Of course, any that refused were given an express pass to the afterlife, but they were technically giving the citizens a choice, which is more than the majority of other chapters would have done. Like, imagine if the Emperor had sent the World Eaters to take care of this. Guilliman at least didn't take joy in this endeavor. Angron would have been bragging about his kill count, would have been going into extreme detail about his kills because he's just fucked up like that, and god do I love his broken soul. Regardless, as stated previously, this spawned Lorgar's never-ending hate boner towards Papa Smurf, and this will have no repercussions in the future. Which, honestly, to everyone, it looked like the only real repercussion was that Lorgar was going to go pout in his room all day, every day, and leave the crusading to the real Marines. If only we could have been that lucky. However, it turns out our mans wasn't just curled up in a ball shoveling ice cream down his throat and crying to the wall. Oh no, instead he was doing much worse. He was communing with dark spirits and entities within the warp. Lorgar called out to them because he was seeking new gods to worship, and he was begging for some forbidden knowledge. Entities within the warp being entities within the warp, they were like, hey yo, what's up, mortal? How you doing? Looking for power? We'll make a trade. Lorgar was like, cool, let's trade. Entities were like, can't do that here. Come to this place called the Eye of Terror to receive our gifts. What does Lorgar do? Instantly gathers up his entire legion and makes breakneck speed towards the Eye of Terror. And so with his subscription to Hustlers University purchased for a discounted rate of $99,000, Lorgar set back out into the Great Crusade. Worlds began to fall into compliance under his renewed fury. Some fell to the pump and dump crypto scams. Others were forced into submission through the forbidden technique of podcasting. And yet some worlds suffered a far darker fate. A fate no world deserves. They were subjected to the OnlyFans pimping circles. Young boys were taught to steal their parents' credit cards and purchase adult content. Little girls were told they didn't need to have any aspirations higher than being a cam girl. The levels of degeneracy and devastation that was left in the wake of the word bearers was... my god, it was horrible. And it smelled so... But really though, after Not God laid down the lore... God damn it! But really though, after Not God laid down the law, Lorgar ran off to go cry in his room for a while, then made some friends with the Shadow people. He really did come back and start stacking a substantial amount of bodies for a little bit. Which is the only compliment I'm giving him throughout the video. And everyone was like, yo, Lorgar, we see you out here getting after it, my man. Just want to say good work out there, Tiger. And Lorgar is all like, call me Tiger one more fucking time and I'll kill every last one of you. And everybody's like, hey, you're not still upset about that whole city thing, are you? And Lorgar was like, oh, I'm absolutely fuming, but I can't kill you yet. So watch me skin this guy. And right about then, Papa Smurf leaned over to Not God's bestest boy and was like, he knows it wasn't personal, right? Lorgar then began skinning this helpless human alive while sociopathically staring Papa Smurf in the eyes the entire time. And it was around this time that Poppy Smurf realized Lorgar had in fact taken that very personally. But the plot can't allow any of the loyalists to act with any amount of common sense yet, so everyone somehow convinced themselves that he would get over it and completely glossed over the fact that he was spearheading his entire legion straight to the Eye of Terror. I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. He seemed so bright and chipper the last time we spoke. However, this is where I get to once again shit all over this little tater tot, because even though he is convinced that his newfound gods are real and that they will give him whatever power he desires, when he is at the doorway to the realm to meet these guys, is he the first one to take a step into that realm? No. Instead, he sends the Serrated Suns chapter into the Eye to be his little test dummies. These motherfuckers are led by a real man named Argyle Tall, who I think up until First Heretic / Betrayer doesn't really get much screen time, but I love the man, and not just because he's Karn's best friend, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the wannabe Primarch sends some real warriors into the Eye of Terror, and chaos being chaos completely eviscerates them. Seriously, the shit these motherfuckers had to endure, and they somehow came back with their minds quote end quote intact. Traitor or not, these motherfuckers are savage. And as a little added salt on the wound, Lorgar damn near starts crying when he sees them, and it's like, man, fuck you. You sent them in there. It is your fault. Do not start crying now, my man. Fucking bitch. Shit, Argyle Tall had his soul ripped out of his body, shredded to pieces, stitched back together, and shot back into his body using a turkey baster, but he ain't crying about it. Meanwhile, Lorgar is over here like, I need a minute. I can't deal with this. Motherfucker, you need a minute. Have you seen the generational trauma you just inflicted upon your kids? Who let this guy have this job? Can we get a recount or some shit? Fuck, I hate Erebus, but at least that motherfucker does things. And speaking of that little cockroach, the whole time he's just been sitting there whispering into Lorgar's ear like, yeah, Dad, listen to the shadow people. They make some good points. You should do everything they say. And Lorgar's like, you're so right, Erebus. I'm just the fucking best ever. Meanwhile, Erebus, that fucking sociopath, is over here thinking that he actually is like pulling the strings of reality itself. Which, I mean, a lot of his prophecies do come true, but I feel like half the time those are just accidents that happen to work out, and Erebus is, wait a fucking second.
Listen to me, Kakarot! I'm using his fucking name!
Voldemort. No, Voldemort's kind of cool. Not Polisher. I use that one for Johnny Boy. Fucking Dick Pump. His nickname is Dick Pump because my brain ain't working right now. So Dick Pump pretty much becomes the de facto leader of the word bearers during the heresy, and one could make the argument that while Horus is the vessel of chaos, Dick Pump was the actual instrument of its will. But saying is, I'm calling this guy a Dick Pump, do you really think I'm gonna make that argument? I mean, yeah, I am, but fuck you, I'm not happy about it. Anyways, here's a list of this Dingleberry shenanigans. Dick Pump helped to manipulate his father and Horus into falling to chaos, aided in orchestrating events to ensure Magnus would be put into a position to turn traitor, secured the stinky blade that almost KO'd Horus, conducted the ritual to infuse Horus with chaos, and that's just to name a few. What's Lorgar doing during pretty much all of this? He's off on a bro-ship adventure with fucking Angron of all people. I mean, yeah, sure, at the end of this little adventure, they get Demon Angron, but I'm gonna be real with y'all, and this is coming from an Angron fanboy, that's a downgrade, my guy. Sure, I get it, he's a hulking monstrosity that can fly now.
Oh, they fly now! They fly!
But while he was a human, there were at least moments of lucidity that you could get through to the man. Post-transformation, this man is literally turning the walls to flesh, causing people to explode, and like, why would you want that? Why was homemade flesh popsicles your goal? You need these people to, I don't know, fight in the fucking war you're in. Hell, human Angron was even funny. Demon Angron is just blood for the blood god, which I mean, like, cool, yeah, blood for the blood god, but like, come on now. And that's pretty much his entire involvement in the heresy. He provided the gene template to the guy who actually went out and did everything and gave Angron the worst downgrade in Primarch history. Like, sure, I guess he still gets a participation trophy for being present in the heresy and shit, but look how much good that did him. almost feel like it would have gone better had he just decided to sit this one out and let Erebus, Dick Pump, do all the fucking work. Gonna be honest with you, I don't remember where he was during the Battle of Terra, nor do I respect him enough to look it up, but I'm just gonna guess he was there. And maybe he did things, but I know for a fact if he was there, he ran like a bitch. I would put every penny I own on that. It's only one penny, but it's the principle that matters. As it stands, he fucked back off into the Eye of Terror, though the Imperium doesn't care enough to track his whereabouts. That last part was probably a lie, but considering I have more respect for the talent than this guy, I'm not fact-checking myself. He's probably going to hang out there too, till GW decides they need some more money. And then all of a sudden he's going to be unbanished from the warp and out here doing things, and oh no, he was doing things in the shadows all along. Give us your money, fool. Anyways, for now, this has been Lorgar poorly this is me just kind of talking shit. The Slander of Lorgar? Lorgar Slander? I don't know. I come up with titles like 2 minutes before I hit upload and fucking pray. I think it's working. Anyways, for now though, thank you all so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. We're at 1,000 subscribers, bro. That's pretty cool. Y'all are the top to my right. Wait, fucking pause. Y'all are the apple to I don't fucking know. Alpha Legion video is up next. If you made it to this part of the video, the llamas are a lie. You know what to do. Leave a comment and be gone. To anyone that might care as to where I've been for the last few months, great question. Next question. For now, I return to the shadows. Video over. Deuces.